Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing PCS Round 2 at Zolder. Tonight I am joined by GT Gavin 2 as my co-commentator. There's the click, here he is. You alright, mate?
Hello, hello.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Ah, nice.
Yourself?
So, you enjoyed your holiday away?
Yeah, we're alright, nice and steady, couple of beers, that's the way it goes.
Hey, you missed out on a cracking first race at the Le Mans circuit, just a small Le Mans circuit though, not the full length one, which will be round 10. But yeah, that were a cracking start to the season with these 3-car teams in the LMP1 class. So, what are you expecting?
A mixture of everything really, well I'm hoping so anyway.
Oh yeah.
Weather,
it should be good,
tyres,
it should be good.
It's going to be good.
Definitely. Well, currently I am just posting on our Front Row Racing Facebook page the link so everybody can view. So just tell us how your holiday's been going for about a minute as I type away.
I can't even... I don't even think I can fill a minute, to be honest. Jumped on a plane, I went to Spain, I got to a villa, I got in the pool, I had a shitload of beer.
Pardon
and then
French.
I did... Oh, sorry, yeah. And then I just did that for 3 days, really. Yeah, it was nice.
Nice.
Chilled
very
out, beer
nice.
time.
Well,
Gone out.
the post has gone live. It has been published, so there we go. We're all good to go. Let's see who we've got in. We have, at the moment, we've only got 11 players, so which means we've only got 9 drivers on circuit. Before we go to circuit,
Do we have any reserves waiting in the wings?
yeah, I'll see if there's any reserves waiting in the rings. May as well come in and race. If not, we'll just head to... I'll tell you what, we'll just head to circuit and we'll invite them in. Straight away, format for this is 5 minutes of straight into qualifying. Then a 15-minute warm-up. Yeah, that is going to be brutal. Straight in the deep end. 5 minutes, you're only going to get 1, possibly 2 laps in. If you make a mistake, you're going to have to just hope and pray that it's good enough. Mind you, with only 9 drivers, which is a bit rare for a Sunday night, that might not be too bad to pick your way through the field. So, without further ado, let's get going.
I just wonder if qualifying's going to chuck up a few surprises.
Oh yeah. This Zolder circuit, lots and lots of mechanical grip required, but then you've got turn 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is quite high speed cornering, but then for the rest of the circuit it's pretty much straight lines and chicanes.
I would imagine you'd be looking at a lot more of a civilised lap in these cars to what they were in the GT3s.
Exactly.
The downforce is just immense on these cars.
And what's that I hear? That sounds like a fair chunk of rain as we drive out and then return to pit box to get on the monitor. Let's see who's out there at the moment. Is anybody out there? I can hear engines.
Casey, Jamie James, Temp Fear, Headland's just come out. Here we go.
Oh, this is looking brutal out there. I don't think they're going to have a bit line onto the circuit. Let's get that on board.
Bunting
TV
to the back of David
camera.
Harp on the way out there.
I think it's over diking. Let's see, is Temp Fear's out. Jeremy James, GT Gavin.
Over
You're
diking.
in the commentary box.
I am indeed, I'm not on track.
I'm quite happy we're staying in the commentary box, to be fair. This looks pretty brutal.
It's wet.
Oh, just, well, stating
Moist,
the obvious there,
as
Gav.
some people might say moist.
Just a bit moist.
From board with Casely, coming down to the first chicane. Ooh, big cut there. Who was that?
Casely had been the form man, but unfortunately last week, he really should have took pole last week. He should have really won it, but he didn't. He completely had a bit of a scruffy race, and Dave came through and won it.
I was one of them who missed last week's, well, it was a fortnight ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 weeks, it's been a long time.
Last race out, shame really, but couldn't be helped.
So if you want to pick a driver to commentate on, there's only 3 minutes of this pole session left.
I'm going to have a look at Casely in this lap, I think. A driver that's on it in the PCP and on it in the PCS.
Crack of thunder. This is brutal for these drivers. So as you're commentating, let's have a lap with him then, Gav. Let's see how it goes.
First corner, hits the apex nice, is on the exit, powering down. This rain is torrential.
Oh yes.
Handling it well though, car looks flat, looks nice, don't look like he's struggling in any of the corners. A bit of a bounce on the entry there.
Yeah, it does look
power down to the chicane. Late braking here. Oh yeah, definitely late braking is on one here. Oh, he's overshot it. That's the time penalty surely. Lap bin for Casely.
Oh, so that's it, straight away. Who else is on the lap? Can we see it's Davey Harpy?
Jamie James spinning out there.
Oh no.
10 feet of bouncing on the entrance to turn 1.
So just to let the viewers know, after this quali session, I will go through the results of last week's race, but right now there's only 1 minute and 40 seconds left of this session. Is there anybody out there, Gab, that looks to be completely on it?
I'm just having a look. Dave Hart is has just set a first sector of a 32.08.
Effelman's just about to come over the line, and he's set a 129.8. As another crack at Thunder has just shook the commentary box. Dave just coming in the final chicane on the power. What's this going to be for David Hart?
Like second to 132.4. He's nowhere near.
So that's 2 seconds off Hesselman's pace.
Could have had enough. Overdye Kink with a 132.9. Big flasher line in there.
That's very respectable there. Killer Corkin in the satellite team just lost it. Coming on to the start-finish straight. If that was a decent lap, it's completely just been completely ruined there.
Yeah, it's invalidated his lap as well by the looks of things, unless it was done beforehand.
There's only 20 seconds left. Is there anybody? Jamie James jumps into P5 with a 1:44.7. Any time will be a good time right now to pop a lap in. Only 10 seconds left. Is there anybody else that can pop a lap in?
No.
I think it's going to be Effelman. Can Effelman beat his time? No, there's only 4 seconds. I don't think he's going to get over the line. No chance. But he's got pole, and he's got 1 point. Esselden, there we go, straight away takes pole position by a decent margin there, Gav.
Fantastic lap under the pressure. Fantastic lap.
So
would be
like I say,
Casely not managing to put a lap in. I'm surprised by that.
He's going to be gutted. He's going to be absolutely gutted. So even more rain carrying on for the practice session. So as the practice session starts, that gives everybody a chance to have a breather, relax. I'll see if I can get
straight out
a few more drivers in here, and I will also talk through the previous results in round 1 at Circuit Bugatti. So everybody relaxing in the pit box, Gav?
No, you got Killer Corkin out. Everyone else seems to be staying put. Oh, Casely's just about to exit the pit.
So Casely That was not a very good.
He wouldn't have wanted that. He'd have wanted to be further up than that, definitely.
Exactly.
Especially with the weather.
Yeah, P9 he'll be starting on the grid. That's so currently on the grid. I'll talk the viewers through the current grid order. It is Hesselden 90 taking pole position with a 1:29.8. Dave Hart taking P2 with a 32.4. Then his teammate Obi Viking for Gold Standard Racing. There's another cracker thunder hits the commentary box. A 1:32.9, which is very respectable. GDM Vectra. Is this going to be a decent showing we're going to be seeing from Vectra? Last time out, he almost took Hesselden out because he didn't realise he was in a lap down situation.
He did mention that to me, wasn't it? And as we mentioned, he just comes out of the pits.
Exactly. All right on cue. Johnny James P5. He was the last person to get a decent lap in. Say decent. It was a 1:44.7, which is about almost 15 seconds slower than pole, but it got him P5, and that's all it took. So anybody could have put in a very, very slow lap and got a decent qualifying position. So as I hunt for last week's 2 week ago result, you want to talk us through what's going on track there, Gary?
I think everyone's just coming out, just trying to get a feel for it, especially in the wet. Okay, so we're just watching there. Jamie James just exiting the pit lane. Little on board here with Temp Fear. Oh, he's overshot the chicane badly as well. Seems to be messing the braking zone up. Does this weather massively?
Oh yeah, it's not what these cars are built for. To be fair, they don't design it with this amount of rain in mind. But here we go. We've got the results from the first round of the PCS. So currently, we have, just to let the viewers know, we've got 3 car teams. And 4 lots of those 3 car teams. So for Gold Standard Racing, got Dave the Hart. We've also got Over Dyking and Temp Fear. To be fair, I don't know how these drivers are doing it with these weather conditions. Then we've also got the Yellow Bandits, which consist of Casely, Hesselden, and Vectra. We've then got Beat Clip Racing, which consists of Adam 4600, who hasn't turned up today, Chris Core, and Jamie James. Jamie James, to be fair, hasn't had a lot of practice with the Project Cars PCS cars, but he's turning up every week, and unfortunately though, last week he didn't bag any points, he got a DNF. So if he can just carry on, build on his momentum, some decent points, anything's possible. So then we've got the final 3 car team, which is IKEA, which is based on the colour scheme of the car, blue and yellow. We've got Duo Finn was a reserve last week, and he was the only one that scored points for that team. He scored them 10 points. Currently, who do we have out of the IKEA racing team? I think we should be on circuit Richie Davey and Neotig.
You don't have Neotig, you don't have Richie Davey.
So IKEA don't seem to have turned up. So in that case, I will see if we can invite them in, see if they turn up. If they don't, it doesn't look like IKEA are going to be scoring any points. Then we've got Black Stallion Racing, which is a 1 car team. I'm just trying to see. Black Stallion, a racer, he picked up 7 points with a P9 last week for Black Stallion Racing. And Rampant Racing, which is Geordie Marsh's team, it's another single car team, is Killer Corkin. So I will just double check, see if we can get some more drivers in here. If not, it may be a lonely 9-car race.
Rocket Thunder there. These drivers really are pushing the limits at the first chicane exit. They really are. Vector is all over the place at the minute.
When's this Sunday going to end, Gav?
It's not showing any sign of the way. No, it's going to be. That's why I'm happy that, say, the likes of Casely are down at the back of the grid. Makes the start a lot more interesting. You can see how a driver reacts to being further back than what they would usually expect to be. Obviously, negotiating overtakes, etc., etc. So it's a whole different aspect. Vector seems to have sorted himself out. But sliding out of every single corner. I know he wants to start contributing something to his team after what is his own admission, a poor race in the first of the season.
Oh yeah.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, it's so yeah. The results of last week's race have run through the drivers that drive for the teams, but let's go through last week's results. So Dave Hart took first place, 25 points. He didn't get pole position, but he managed to take the win, so that's 25 points for gold standard. Casely took P2, but he also took the pole position point, just like Hesselden's done today.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think Hesselden's just messaged me to say he's been disconnected, so let's see if we can get him back in.
Indeed, yeah. Not good. Don't like it when this game starts playing up with disconnections.
Oh yeah.
They can ruin a race night.
Exactly. He took the pole position point. We don't want that to be the only thing he takes to that. But we're going to see if he can make his way back into the lobby.
Let's have a look at Chris Carr now, just wandering around, getting a feel. Seems to be pretty. Seems to be alright. A lot of cars I've noticed on the entrance in turn 1 bouncing excessively at the rear end.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can feel that whilst driving the car.
I think
visually,
these cars really, I mean, you look at the circuits they go to, like Le Mans and other circuits which are so flat, hardly any bumps, and then you end up at a circuit where there's chicanes where these cars just really do not want to ride those bumps, and they become quite difficult to drive. Very lovely through the fast corners, which will be alright in sector 1. But sector 2 and 3, that's going to be a nightmare to drive.
Doesn't look like it. No sign of this rain lifting from the start of the race. No sign whatsoever. Which could excite some drivers and terrify others. This car just putting in the lap there, 132. Not bad that from Chris Carr, not bad at all.
No.
On pole.
We have, just let the viewers know, we had Adam 4600, nope, he's gone back offline, so I think this looks like this is going to be the current grid, the 9 drivers. And as Hesselden's made his way back to circuit, so that's good to see. So yeah, Dave Hart took 25 points, Casely took 21 points, it was the 20 plus the 1 pole position point. Adam 4600 took 16 points with P3. Over Dyking on his debut run in the PCS took 13 points with P4. Temp Fear took 11 points with P5. Duo Finn, who was a reserve, who hasn't turned up, and he doesn't look like much of IKEA Swedish racing team, have turned up. I think there will be harsh words from the team manager, Mr. Alan Key. He will not be happy with none of his drivers turning up. he's going to be pretty miffed about that, I think. Especially when there's plenty of drivers out there wanting to drive in this league, and then you get three of his drivers who just don't turn up, which is no good for the sport. So then we've got Chris Corr, who was P7. He took 9 points. Hesselden had a very dodgy race, really good going for the majority of the race, but then by the end of the race he had hit the wall a fair few times, finished in P8, taking 8 points. And then we had finally a razor for Black Stallion Racing, the only satellite team to score points, and he finished in P9 and he took home 7 points. So that was the results of the previous round at Circuit Bugatti. So let's just see. Yeah, when is this rain going to let up? It's been going on and on and on. I do hope it finishes pretty soon, because, well, I'm sure the drivers all hope that the rain quits pretty soon.
I don't think it happens with the depth of commentary, to be honest.
Interestingly though, Dave Happ is currently in P1, 130.3. If that's on a decent amount of fuel, that lap time, he'll be quite happy with that.
Closest to him, Chris Corr with a 132.0. As we say that, just exiting the pits again, thinks after one more push at it. Vectra on a 133.4. That's faster than his pace he was shown in qualifying. Just been bumped down to 4th though, as Hesselden goes pole with a 129.7.
Casely have not set a lap time in this practice session. Is he that confident that he can be able to bully his, not bully his way, but slice his way through the field with his reputation?
Either that or he's that annoyed with his qualifying performance. Oh no, did you say that? Here he comes.
Yeah, he's heard us.
Oh, Jamie James going savagely wrong at the first chicane there. Savage.
Yeah, Jamie James, he looks to be the no, and Chris Corr are both racing for the white and blue Beat Clip Racing team, but it doesn't appear as though Adam 4600 has turned up for this race, and he did seem to be their main point scorer, so this may be a torrid weekend for Beat Clip Racing.
Could be.
So we have Hesselden about to start another lap, but there's only 50 seconds to go, so it's just going to be a practice run. He goes over the line into turn 1, let's see how he goes. Nope, he's back into the garage. He's heard me doing a bit of commentary and he doesn't like it, as we've got Dave Verhaap into the chicanes. Really wrestling that car.
32-1.
Back end wanting to go the opposite direction. Fear in P3 really did impress last week in the PCP League, almost taking the win from Casely, and his knowledge of this circuit should translate into the PCS LMP1 cars, but I think he may have just got a power boost for excessive curb use as the session is over. So Hesselden back in P1. Will he keep his connection? He's kept his pole position point. Now we're about to see what will happen in the second race of the PCS.
The disconnection won't have any implications to Hesselden starting on pole, will they?
It may do. It may do. He will have that pole position point, but it may mean he's not on pole. We'll never know. We'll find out as we retire to the pit box and spectate ASAP
Dave the Half
and get down
is
to the
up
front.
pole.
Dave the Half
Vectra in
took the lead.
second.
Oh, we've got Vectra in second, doing a
Temp
really
Fear,
good job for
Hesselden
Yellow
fourth.
Bandits. Yeah,
Casey up to
Hesselden's in
fifth.
fourth. Hesselden's rear end looks like it's been hit a bit. K-Slayer P5, Overdyking P6, Killer Corkin P7, Jammy James P8, and Chris Corr whacking Jammy James in P9. So here we go back to the front, let's get up there. Dave the Art's stolen the lead. I don't
Fear
think
in second, falling back a little bit.
I don't think Hesselden will have had pole position with him disconnecting. It may have scuppered him, but P1 and 2 at the moment are the gold standard racing teams of Dave Hart and Temp Fear, hunted down by the pole sitter Hesselden in P3.
This is not going to cause the plan to Hesselden, this. He's got a light out at the back, so he's definitely suffered damage somewhere.
Vectra's just had a bit of a moment, and K-Flay's got himself into P4. He's also run wide into the hairpin.
Yeah,
as Overdyking looks to be on the back of Vectra. And Dave the Half, what is this man made of? He's just bolted, gone off the, just disappeared up the road. And Temp Fears now his rear gunner with Hesselden. As Overdyking looks to be going for a move on Vectra down the start finish straight for P5 as he got it round the outside. Vectra doesn't look to be, he's just given enough space. That was very polite from Vectra. I thought there was going to be a bit of squeezing going on there. Vectra's trying it back round the outside as Overdyking moves back onto the racing line. Is Vectra doing the up and under? There's been a bump. Overdyking's tried to cover that up a bit too late there. And didn't realise Vectra was already up his inside as well as Chris Corr just bumped Overdyking out, and Overdyking will not be impressed with that as his best friend Jammy James 16 is hunting him down for P7.
Vectra's got away with that one there, I think, with that contact. Needs to mash on now. And back up to the front.
To be hunting Temp Fear down at the front, but the closest battle on circuit looks to be Vectra, Chris Corr and Overdyking.
Definitely with Chris
back
Corr.
up. Yeah.
Picked up a little bit of pace, that seems to have spread out a little bit.
Back up at P3, I think Hesselden is going to go for a little cheeky move on Temp Fear here into the final chicane. Temp Fear's covered it off early, he's gone defensive into the chicane. What is Hesselden going to do?
He seems to have any pace around the chicane, whether it was just a bad entry or...
David Hart's already in turn 1 as Temp Fear's not defending fresh air. He's turning in for turn 1, and Hesselden looks to have made a bit of a dog's dinner of turn 1 as Chris Corr has just been overtaken, I think, from Overdyking into turn 1. That's a lovely move. Unfortunately, I don't think the car hit there.
Just seen Jammy James go off.
Oh yeah, he's gone off, and that's allowed Killer Corkin in P8 to blast through. So Jammy James now final runner in this race at Zolder.
Did that. But just pulling and pulling away lap by lap.
Oh, Hesselden all over the back of Temp Fear now, running up the hill out of the chicane. As Hesselden got a run, Temp Fear's going defensive on the right hand side, but Hesselden, how much pace has this man got? Temp Fear's not giving up round the outside. No, he's turning in on the car that's already there. That's going to be a penalty as well for Temp Fear, I think. No, and it's let K-Slay through to P3. Temp Fear really needs to start hunting these down, working on that racetrack, because that looked like he was turning in on the car that was squeezing him out on the outside.
If anyone can catch Dave, K-Slay is that guy, and now he's away now.
K-Slay's the man, Hesselden's the fault sitter, and Dave needs to start. Will he be thinking now when he's seeing Hesselden in P2, will he start worrying, or will he just stay cool? What are your thoughts?
I think he'll just stay cool, to be honest. He seems to have it pretty much nailed. Looks alright in corners, doesn't seem to be struggling in any part of the track. Loves the rain though, does Dave? Exactly.
So looks like Hesselden doesn't seem to be struggling, seems to have a decent bit of pace in that yellow bandit. does look very nice, but does not look as nice as it does for Dave the Hart. He's got no spray in his face,
got Vector in fifth,
away.
pondering around on his own. Got Overdye King, that's about 2.5 seconds behind him. Then Chris Carr in seventh. Oh no, Overdye King's a lot closer to Vector than I first thought.
Yeah, I think he is closing in slowly on Vector.
Got any more battles?
2 tenths per lap, Vector's gone a touch wide as we rise over the hill with Overdye King into the chicane. And Dave the Harps bolted away, and Heselden's had a problem. It's gone a bit wide. Caseley's gone with him. They've both run very, very wide into that chicane. I think that might have just given Caseley a few tenths in the bag as we run into the final chicane, but no, Caseley's almost lost it again.
Look at Dave. Dave is gone. Dave is gone.
Yeah, Dave's already in turn one as they're just coming over the line. 26 laps to go though, there's a long way to go in this race as Caseley runs wide onto the puddles.
Could be trying to cool them wet down. Although I don't think they really need it. Does this seem... I can't tell if it's catching, to be fair. Steady gap.
This gap. I'll just see this gap now. It's about a 4-second gap from Dave Hart to Heselden. About a 1-second gap from Heselden to Caseley. It's about a 4-second gap now to P4. Tempfear doesn't seem to have the pace of these three front runners.
The last lap by Dave Hart was a 1:31.7. Heselden's last lap a 1:31.7. Caseley's last lap a 1:31.6.
And it looks to me like Johnny James, he seems to be dropping off a fair chunk from the rest of the drivers, but I would say
Overdye King off. Just rejoined track.
Oh,
he's off again.
He's gone off again. Yeah, this could be feeding Killer Corkin's racing Chris Carr's confidence into the hairpin.
Killer Corkin is there.
Able to close on.
Sort of Vector
My apologies
to
Killer Corkin, he is racing, he's in P8.
He is.
Getting all confused now.
Vector
Keeps making his way through the final chicane.
Making a bit of headway here, up towards 10th here.
Yeah, Vector does seem to be closing in on 10th here. 10th here's gone a touch wide now.
Oh, Caseley got a run now. Oh no, he's just been sprayed.
Oh, we've got a car off. Killer Corkin's lost it.
Oh, Dave's
lost it. Yeah, he's hit the wall.
Dave
this rain is getting heavier. Heselden's just closing a fair chunk. So that's Heselden, and Caseley can clearly see Dave Hart now in P1 as that Steely.
Oh, he's off again.
Oh, he's off. He must have damage. The way he's driving, Heselden's going round the outside.
Oh, he's done him.
Dave under braking has not got an answer. Oh, as he's back up the inside on the power, Heselden just seems to have nicked it, and Dave lost it again.
Oh, this is a nightmare for Dave.
Yeah, this is a nightmare for Dave. I think Dave will be making his way into pit lane. Either that, or he may have just overheated his tyres and he's keeping cool. No, he's in pit lane.
He's in pit. What? It'd be very interesting to see what happened there.
He's pitted with five laps into the race. He's gone from P1 and he's pitted. I think he's probably going to be spitting feathers in that helmet.
Vector now definitely closing in on 10th here.
Yeah, Vector is really all over the back of 10th here. What has 10th here got?
I know that Rich would love to get a podium. I know he'd absolutely love to get a podium.
10th's gone a bit deep into turn 1. That's given Vector a bit more pace into turn 2, running wide. No, Vector's just touched the grass.
Stay away from that stuff.
Oh, he's gone off again. Vector's almost lost it. Oh, 10th here's Bacon's been saved. Vectra just running onto the grass, and this car does not like grass, I can tell you that.
Perfect time when he needed concentration, and he just...
Jammy James gone off
together
into the gravel trap. Dave Hart and Killer Corkin maybe having a little sneaky move on Jammy James. He's closed in after he's been off circuit on the previous lap. He must have a fair bit of pace, must Killer Corkin, to be closing in on Jammy James that quick.
He's ripping it out of him, isn't he?
I don't think Jammy James is going to have to get very defensive.
Chris Core just trundling around all on his own in 6th. Overdyke Inc in 5th. Vector in 4th. Fallen way back now.
And the two front runners, Liner Stern, going over the line, not within fighting distance, but definitely got very, very good pace, these two Yellow Bandits.
Dave's tyre wear will be pivotal for him now, I would say.
Oh, Killer Corkin, what's happened to him? Davey Hart's overtook him. I think Killer Corkin must have had a problem there.
He must have had an off there, it was a fair way
P9.
back.
And Jammy James gone wide. This is David Hart coming round the hairpin. I think he'll be past Jammy James like a ferret up a drain pipe.
Stay with it and give it a watch. Oh, he's going up the inside. Now he's backed out of it, a bit too close. Oh, we're on the outside, it'd be a good move. Undercut. Oh, and there it is. So much more power.
Oh, it's just
coming
gone,
out the corner.
Just bolted like as if he was standing still. Back up at the front. This is getting close now. Casely, does he seem to be hunting down Heselden, or does Heselden seem to have this one in the bag? We said that earlier with David Hart, and then he had that problem with the car, had a bit of damage it looked like, and then he's gone down to P7.
Hope and pray time for Dave now.
Yeah, you've got to really just hope that it stops raining when, to be fair, I don't see signs of this stopping raining. It just looks so heavy.
It's been steady this way ever since qualifying.
Exactly, it just seems ridiculous, the amount of rain. We did know that there was going to be thunder, lots of humidity in the air, but the amount we're having just seems monumental.
It is a bit over-accepted.
Oh, Overdyke really out of control in P5. Chris Cox seems to be closing in on Overdyke now into the final chicane.
Oh, Overdyke Inc has pitted.
Yeah, looks like he may have had a bit of damage, and that's David Hart. So David Hart's pitted, and wasn't too far behind his teammate Overdyke there.
No, he's not. I think Dave has overtaken him just as he gets into his box, so...
Yeah. So Dave's got a fair chunk of pace. And apologies to the viewers, Hesselman's in P2. He's, I don't know whether he's lost control there, but Casely was running so far behind, so close up behind Heselden that all it took was one little tiny mistake and he was going to make it through. It looks like he's already made the move.
Yeah, struggling to get going as well as Heselden as he's coming out of the corner.
Ooh. Lots of cars really struggling now. Is Heselden carrying on? Where's he going?
He's going in pits. He's pitting. I think it was a last minute choice though.
Yeah, it did look like a last minute one, and he's probably lost a couple of seconds waiting. So where is Dave Hart? Dave Hart was running very close.
5th at the minute.
So let's see where Dave Hart ends up being. Heselden's just stopped now. Fear is just coming down the pit lane. Vectra's also in. Lots of activity down the pit lane. Dave Hart is just coming towards the final chicane. I'll let you know when Heselden gets going.
Close.
Seems a long stop for Heselden. It's just getting going now.
Stay with Dave Hart.
Dave's just gone. I think if even if Casely pits, he's just passed him now in the pit lane. But Dave's got, even though he may have made a mistake earlier on, this may have worked out very nicely indeed, because Casely also in P1 doesn't look to have a huge amount of pace.
Casely, Heffelman just up to full speed now, but that was a long stop.
Very, very long stop there. Previous lap for Casely was a 1:33.3. David Hart matches him with a 1:33.2. So Casely does seem to be on the pace, but it's coming up behind a back marker. Is that his teammate? Is that Vectra?
Vectra was exiting the pits. No, Vectra's all on his own.
So let's see who that could possibly be. It's a gold standard racing car getting out of the way. So it looked like it may have been Overdyking. So
yes,
currently we have. Oh, Casely spun! Casely spun in P1, and that may have just been a lifeline for Dave Hart, because if Casely picks now, he may end up behind him. And that was a big spin there for Casely. Just
in the middle of traffic
going
as well.
now. As Dave Hart just going over the start-finish line, starting lap 10.
Yeah, there's not enough in there for a pit stop. Nowhere near. Oh, Casely running wide again.
Oh, we've got him. Yeah, Casely, he's been unlapped by
Killer Corkin.
Is that Killer Corkin?
I think
Killer
he's
Corkin's
gone
got more
savagely wide
pace now. Yeah, he's just let him straight back through. So it doesn't look to be going well there for Killer Corkin.
Have a look at fastest laps.
Tempest is just exiting pit lane. He'll be coming out just in front of Vectra.
Yeah, just.
And that's P4 for Tempest.
Vectra's having a decent showing here for me.
Oh, Davey Hart's almost spun it in the chicane, and Heselden will have seen that, and he's hunting him down now for P2. Casely going, he's not pitting yet, is Casely, but let's just see what this lap time is. It hasn't been valid, that's how bad it's been for Casely, and he's still getting hunted down by, oh no, Killer Corkin's just spun it. I think he's just spun it in turn 1. Yeah, he has spun in turn 1. Killer Corkin jumping over them sausage curbs. They do not like you, my friend, unfortunately. Dave Hart on the hunt towards Casely, followed by Heselden. Which of these two have you got your money on? I think Heselden may
Heselden's the man on the charge.
He looks very Alonso-esque, just keeping it all calm, and when he needs to pounce, he's going to be ready.
You're going to see him right up his rear end before the end of this lap.
Dave's
so much more confident into the corners.
Yeah, Dave's really, I think we're going to see him move now as he's running side by side with Dave Hart into the chicane. This is not a chicane you want to go side by side with. Dave knows that, and he's backed out of it. Oh, really bad pace there from Dave Hart. I do not know what's going on with his car.
Seems to be chucking in a couple of laps which are fantastic, and then it just seems to fall away from him. Cap the tyres, surely.
I know, he's just going from bad to worse as Casely is heading towards pit lane. Is he carrying on? He's carrying on, I think. So yet another lap for Casely. Heselden's into the hairpin, followed by Dave Hart. The current running order: Casely P1, Heselden P2, Dave Hart P3, Temp Fear a fair chunk back now in P4, followed by Vectra in P5, Overdyking really far back in P6, followed by Chris Carr, who's trying to hunt him down for P7. Jamie James is in P8 at the moment, with Killer Corkin last of the runners in P9.
Back up the front. Oh, we've had an off. Heselden off.
We've had an off.
Dave's got back past him.
Dave's back in front of Heselden after making that move on the previous lap. Heselden looks to have regrouped, and he looks to be wanting to attack straight away. What is Dave going to do now as Hesselman's up the inside? Dave's run a bit wide. This looks like pedestrian racing than full flat out. But I can tell you right now, they will be flat out. Breaking into the chicane. What has Hesselman got? He looks to have so much more grip, but then again, it's no good getting past somebody if you're going to go and bin it on the next lap.
Oh, looks like they might touch there under braking. No. So much faster, so much faster.
Yeah.
Just then, a couple of mistakes ruined him really. So far.
And Casely's going for another lap. He's not bothered. Oh, is that a move around the outside for Hesselman?
Oh, he's straight through there under the braking
what
zone.
A move.
He's held it as well.
Like
Brilliant
if
move.
he was standing still then.
Just have a look at Casely. Doesn't seem to be getting much TV time.
Another big wiggle there for Dave Harp. I think these tyres have tried enough. We're on lap 17 and the rain is not stopping.
Have a look back. Got Temp Fear, Vectra so much closer now. This is probably one of the closest battles we have on track at the minute.
Yeah, Vectra's really put the magnets on Temp Fear. There's another flash of lightning goes.
Bless me.
Bless you. Temp Fear, what's he got? Under braking, he's not defending fresh air, he's keeping the position, turning in beautifully into turn one. And it looks like Vectra may have had a little bit of rear instability, wiggling a fair chunk.
See, he's dropped back again. I'm wondering if it's because we're giving him a bit of TV time, he may be watching. And I know Rich will just panic.
And Casely's in P1, not stopped yet into the hairpin. Hesselman, to be fair to say, his pitted is not that far behind Casely.
I think everyone's had their ups and downs so far in this race, to be fair.
Previous lap though for Hesselman. On the previous, yeah. Oh, Hesselman's run wide again. I think Hesselman may be just running out of grip. As Casely is carrying on for another lap. Let's see what this one's going to be. It's a 39 dead. Just to let the viewers know, Casely's best lap on these tyres was a 130. He's losing 10 seconds per lap and he's still in the lead.
Some guy.
Hesselden just bunged in a 132.9. He's probably about 10 seconds behind him. If Casely has another really slow lap,
Casely's going to have to think about pitting on this lap.
Yeah, he's going to have to think about pitting. But then again, last thing you want to do is pit, the rain to stop, and then you're going to be back into the pit lane again.
I'm wondering if Casely is trying to be the master of the one stop here.
Ooh. Vectra seems to be hunting down Temp Fear for P3. But it just seems like Vectra's got really good. Oh, massive flash of lightning as
Dave's a half exiting the pits.
So Dave's pitted again. That's the second stop of the afternoon. Chris Corr will overtake him. No, will he? There's somebody else coming out of pit lane.
No.
Yeah, it's Killer Corkin who's in P9. So that's a back marker. And Chris Corr, yes, he has jumped out in front of Dave
Casely in the pits.
Casely, pit stop time for Casely. And Hesselden, is this going to leave him in prime position for when the rain stops, if it does stop? So that's half distance for Casely on them tyres.
I'm thinking Casely may be gambling on it carrying on raining.
Yeah, I think if it does carry on raining, it's going to be really, really good for him. But if it stops raining anytime soon, it's going to be a massive kick in the teeth. Temp Fear is going to be taking P2.
Oh, we're on the move now.
Vectra is going to be taking P3, so that's going to bump. Yeah, I think that's going to bump Casely at P4 when he exits the pit.
Vectra wide in turn one.
No. Yeah.
Just as he gets close to him. Every single time.
Casely just exiting the pits now, and Dave Hart just about to come over the start-finish line. So to say that Dave's done 2 stops, he's not too. He's about 3 corners away from Casely. That's a decent effort from Dave Hart.
Certainly is. Just watching him.
Right now on lap 15 of 30, I think this is Heselden's race to lose.
Luckily, I think after his disconnection and his move down the grid.
Oh, that'd be cruel, wouldn't it? If he
It would be savagely cruel,
looks to be winning and then disconnects, that will be definitely cruel.
But let's not forget the incident that happened to Dave. It was in the opening lap. Something must have happened.
Exactly.
Oh, Vector wide.
P2. Vector does look to be really struggling now as Casely looks to be in the background. Yeah, he's hunting him down. What is Vector going to do? Is he going to stay out?
I don't think he will. Is that a good decision?
We've got Chris Court under attack from Dave Hart for P5. I think Dave Hart's going to have this one.
Indeed,
superior tyre wear for Dave Hart. Chris Court, he got it under braking, he's going deep into the corner. Just left the car's width to Dave, and Dave is through into P5. It looks like Chris Court doesn't look to have the traction that Dave's got now.
He's pulling away from him. Jamie James just coming round. Overdiking.
Oh, we've got two yellow bandits side by side. That's Casely and Vector. So Casely round the outside of Vector, who he's had 1 pit stop. So is Casely, but Casely's only just pitted. Now Casely's coming up towards a back marker. I think that may be overdiking. Yes, it is. Yeah, so is Casely going to be able to pick his way through the back marker?
I think it's definitely time for GBM Vector to pit.
Oh, definitely. Here comes Casely on the back of Overdiking. Overdiking gets out of the way nicely. That's nice to see. Yeah, still got 9 runners. That's good to see. To say it's been thundering, but to be fair, with about 4 competitors not even turning up for this race, they probably heard what the weather conditions are going to be and then just thought, you know what, sack it, I'm not turning up. But that's not the way to go racing, to be fair.
No, it isn't. No, definitely not. Racing's racing. You're racing in whatever weather you're given.
Exactly. Anything can happen. As Dave Hart's just into the final chicane, and Casely's just out of turn 1, so probably the length of the pit straight Dave's behind Casely, that he needs the time he needs to find. And Heselden just having a very, very lonely race now. Just need to see, I will see what lap times he is currently putting in. Heselden's previous was a 1:32.9. Casely's was a 1:31.2. So Heselden, say those tyres are a lot older, he's only losing a second a lap to Casely.
Yeah, very interesting race. I think from here on in, weather is the biggest issue.
Yeah. Now, what's surprising me is just we were expecting a variable rain. We heard that there was going to be sunshine at some point in this race, and it's just not turning up. The amount of rain is just ridiculous. I'm surprised none of them have aquaplaned off.
This is why we never listen to Michael Fish on the BBC.
Oh yes.
Weatherman extraordinaire.
And yeah, so current positions, Heselden pitted once very early on. It was about lap 6, lap 7. He's in P1 at the moment. Tempt Fear pitted around 7, 8. He's in P2. Casely only pitting about 3 laps ago. He's in P3, so he's doing decently well, and he's currently set the fastest lap time of a 1:29.4. So he's on a charge now, is Casely. Vector's in P4. Still another 11 laps to go for Vector, so if it carries on raining, I don't see him lasting much longer on those tyres. David Harp only pitted about 4 laps ago. He's already pitted twice, so he's doing really well to be in P5 to say he's probably overall time loss has been about 60 seconds. Jamie James doing really well in P6, really impressive. Best lap time of a one. Yeah.
It was a personal best of a 129.4.
Yeah, I was saying it's fastest lap time. Is it just me, or does the weather appear to be just ever so slightly not as bad, or am I just seeing things, Gavin?
The clouds are looking a little bit brighter in the middle sector of the track, but the rest of it, especially down in the last sector and coming into turn 1 of the first, still seems to be raining as much as it was before.
Yeah.
It's just
Heselden really taking it slow through those chicanes, not wanting to lose it. Coming up to the second chicane now is Heselden. Let's see how he takes these very slowly. I think those tyres are not wanting to give him any grip, which is
very
why
cautious.
he's going so slow into those chicanes. Yeah, very cautious.
Vector in the pits.
Vector's in the pits. Well,
yep, just
that
got
wasn't
box.
surprising. And Tempfear just gone about 0.8 of a second quicker than Heselden on the previous lap. But get this, Casey's just bunged the fastest lap down to a 1:28.4. I think this weather, even though it's still really chucking it down, I think it's ever so slightly less than it has been, which is why he's able to pump in faster lap times with 11 laps to go.
Race leader in the pits.
Race leader in the pits, so that's going to promote Tempfear to P1.
Tempfear also in the pits.
No. Tempfear's in the pit.
Smashing into the pit wall on the entry there.
Yeah, it's not the way to do it, as Casey, he's going to regain. So he's just falling back into Casey's hands as he's going to regain P1.
Now Casey's praying for rain.
Now, where is Dave Harp? Dave Harp's just coming up to the final chicane. I think he may have P2 here from Heselden, who's still stationary. He's just getting going now, and here comes Dave Harp over the start finish. This is going to be easy pickings for Dave Harp. He's going to jump himself into P2.
Yeah, before he's even got to the exit of the actual pit lane.
Yeah, exactly. The pit lane here is very long. Doesn't look like a long pit lane, but it doesn't allow you to get on the power until right at the very end.
Just shows you how much Vector has fallen back with that pit stop. He stayed out way too long on them tyres.
Do you know what? Tempfear just coming round turn 1. Is Jamie James going to be able to pip him here into turn 2?
Be close.
Tempfear's just on the power now. Jamie James, I think he might just miss out. Yeah, you can see he just missed out there, but Jamie James, to be fair, is doing a decent job for the running in P5.
There's a big gap there to Vector though.
Best lap for Jamie James at 1:33.6, and he was looking miles off it in qualifying. So maybe with this ever so slightly drying conditions, I say ever so slightly because it's still soaked out there.
Definitely stopping.
Yeah.
The rain is definitely lining up.
I haven't heard as much thunder, and right now I think Casey is in prime position to have this. It's going to be out. Oh, as I say that, another flash of lightning. So yeah, is it stopping raining, or is it just my imagination?
No, I think it's definitely less than what it was. Definitely. Yeah. Chris Carr. Fastest lap of a 1:31. Vector, fastest lap of 1:32. Jamie James up in 5th with the fastest lap of a 1:33. He's having a decent race as Jamie James. Just popping
it's
along.
not too bad. And I think my engineer might have just whispered in my ear saying that the weather might be changing in a few minutes. And it does appear to be getting a lot brighter down at turn 2.
Oh, you can. It's definitely getting clearer at the first chicane. Definitely.
So K-Slayer is going to be first to make the decision, I think. Is he going to be... when do you want to jump into the pits gap? Do you wait until it's bone dry, or do you wait until it's halfway? Does it depend on how far you are back off the leader?
It depends how much of a punt you want to take, really. Let's say you're down in 4th or 5th. It might be worth taking a punt, maybe not now, maybe in a lap or two. Give yourself a good 5 or 6 laps to go at it for the end of the race, but it's definitely not slick time yet.
Temperature is really hunting down. I think it's a back marker, but the amount of pace he's taking through the corners is pretty ridiculous. I think he may, this is his first flying lap, so let's see what it is. But like I say, these drivers have just pitted, putting on a brand new set of wet tyres, as we also see Killer Corkin pitting. Yeah. This is not the time to pit, I don't think. I think in another 2 laps it's going to be the correct time to pit. Maybe
definitely
even 3. If you pit now, you're just going to end up putting on a brand new set of tyres, and then in a couple of laps time popping on a set of slicks. It's just not worth it.
Just lose too much time.
Casely is out of the hairpin as Dave the Harp is making his way up towards the hairpin.
Still no pit stop from Casely, so I can't be that confident.
Just check this lap time out of Hesselden. Personal best and PB, and it's gone purple. It's a 1:27.2. These conditions are definitely getting drier now.
That's a good... I'm wondering if Hesselden might see that and decide maybe it is time for a set of slicks.
Hesselden's not too far behind Dave Hart now.
No, he's staying out for another lap.
Dave's just coming over the start-finish line, and there you can see, just rising over the hill, is Hesselden in P3.
This could get interesting.
Let's see, yeah. Previous lap for Casely is his personal best of a 1:28.4. Dave Hart's was 1:29.7, and Hesselden has gone green, he's gone purple in fact, another personal best.
26.9.
Yeah, Hesselden. Yeah. Hesselden, we said he'd pitted, was it the wrong decision to make, but with him taking
Jamie James in the pits.
2 seconds. Taking 2 seconds a lap out of Casely on them fresher wet tyres.
Jamie James is the first, I think, to make the punt. Vectra stays out. Jamie James is in.
Do you think Casely and Dave Hart are probably running round on the full wets? Do you think Hesselden may have jumped to Inters?
At that time, with that amount of rain, I very much doubt it, but you never know, do you?
Do you think it's just a superior grip he's getting?
I think it could be, yeah, from obviously the age of the tyres.
Yeah, it's the amount of time he's ripping out of Dave now, he's all over his rear wing.
Yeah, he has done in the previous 2 laps.
It's about 3 seconds a lap he's taking out of Dave.
Hesselden's just gone faster by 9/10, 26.0.
These lap times getting ever lower as Casely's also improving, but not as much as Hesselden. Hesselden with 6 laps to go. Are we going to see the slick tyres go on? It's going to be tough, this, to be fair, as Hesselden's eyeing up Dave Hart. What is Dave going to do? I think, what do you do? I mean, do you try and stay on these tyres for another 6 laps? Or do you gamble
I think the tyres are going to overheat with the rate of what the track is going at.
I think it's going to be absolutely not the right window in the last lap. I think you might lose about 15 seconds a lap on the last lap, as we've got Vectra and Chris Cord just coming out of the final corner very, very close together. As Hesselden's also all over the back of the Dave.
I would say that Vectra's had an issue at some point on that lap because he was a fair way ahead of Chris Cord.
Dave just hasn't got it under braking. Look at Hesselden now on the traction. Hesselman's losing time here. He needs to get past as quick as possible if he's wanting to fight his teammate into the final chicane. He's making little cheeky moves, but not making them stick.
To the pits, then.
Casely is carrying on. Who's going to blink first, do you think, Gav? We've got Casely, who looks to have probably about 15-second lead, as Hesselman's trying it round the outside of Dave Harp, up the inside into turn 2, and that move has been made. Dave tried to make it hard for him, but to be fair, that was very nice racing between the two, as Hesselman is now unleashed, and there's a back mark. I think that was Jamie James. Hesselman needs to get on with this now, because Casely has just put in a very similar lap time, but Casely has been on them tyres 10 laps. Hesselman's been on his probably about 4 laps, 5 laps.
Yeah.
So Hesselman's grip at the moment will be a hell of a lot better than Casely's. Casely is carrying on for another lap. 5 laps to go. When do you think it's when we see, as it looks like Vectra's just got out of the way for Casely, which is very nice to see. Do you think we're gonna see the slick tyre at all, or are they gonna be able to run round till the end, because it's still raining?
I don't think we're gonna see it now. If we were gonna, it would have been lap 6. I don't think we're gonna see it now.
Yeah. So I think even if you pitted and put on a set of slicks, you're going to waste 30 seconds. Even if you go trundle round 20 seconds a lap slower with the wets on the last lap, it's not worth 30 seconds.
No, bad looks of it as it stands now, I would say that Casely has got this in the bag.
Yeah, definitely.
I would still say that I think 3rd place for Dave. I think he can be reasonably happy with that after what's happened, to be honest.
He will be reasonably happy, but knowing Dave, he will be mad that it's rained so much.
I don't think Esselman's going to be happy. To be honest, I think he'll see it as a victory thrown away.
And Casely another. But to be fair, Casely really, he should have won the first round. And we're heading over the line with Casely for 3 laps remaining.
26.2, he's just set new personal best. There's such a gap now. Big roar of thunder there as well.
Both Casely has actually set the fastest lap. No, as we get the thunder. Hesselman has got the fastest lap of the race so far, but Casely has popped in at a time that's only 2/10 slower than Hesselman's fastest.
Just on board now with Vectra, coming up behind Chris Carr at some rate as well.
Ooh. Yeah, let's see what Chris Carr has got in defence against Vectra.
I'd like to see Vectra land at least one overtaking manoeuvre in this race.
And nice. Killer Corkins in the pits. Could he be gambling with a set of slicks? But I wouldn't want to be running out there on slicks right now.
For the remaining 3 laps, there is absolutely no gains to be made, I don't think.
No, I think it's just hold on for dear life, really.
No, Vectra seems to be a lot slower in that middle and last sector. Loses a hell of a lot of time.
Casely is getting ever closer to Hesselman's fastest lap. It's just set at 26.1. Casely doesn't look to have a problem banging in lap times now. 2 laps to go. Still plenty of rip falling on circuit. The tyres will be slightly overheating, but there's still so much rain. They're not going to be trouble to pit. I did think that we were going to end up with a bone dry circuit at this point, but it just hasn't happened. Would have made it a bit more exciting, I think.
I think it would have brought all the front runners together, especially with another pit stop, but it's been a fantastic race nevertheless. Always an interesting one when the rain's involved. I wonder the gap between Hessels and
it does look like
David
Vectra
Hart.
maybe having a look this lap. He's closer than he's been before. Up behind Chris Carr for P5.
This will do his team some good if he can land a few extra points.
Yeah, definitely.
Just definitely, you know, just seal it with the first and second. Oh, he's jumping the wrong side there. Should have tried to get up the inside if he could.
Oh, can he make it round the outside?
I think he can.
He's up the inside of Chris.
Oh.
Into P5 Chris as he took it back up the inside. He's not giving up, is Chris.
Vectra's outbraked himself. Still going. Around the outside. No,
this is lovely racing on the final lap. At least we're getting to see some action. I think the main thing here is the tyres are wearing and overheating.
He's trying to brake earlier than him, get acceleration out of the corner. He's got it. Give him a good run. No.
Chris Carr under braking. Very, very stable. To be fair, Overdyking's not that far behind Vectra and Chris Carr now. But it's probably just a touch too late as Casely, if I will jump on board with Casely at any moment as it looks like Chris Carr is close. I will, if you just want to flick to Casely just for 1 second as he goes over the line to take pole and the win. Sorry, no, it was Hesselden that took pole, but he has taken the win as Casely. Hesselden into the hairpin as we cut back towards Vectra, who unfortunately did not manage to make that move there on Chris Carr. So, looks like final positions as Hesselden comes round the final corner to take P2. He does look to be quite happy. And where is Dave the Hart for P3? Let's just see what position the game's put him in. It's put him in P6, but we all know he's in P3 as he's making his way towards the finish line. Oh, we've got a spinner in the background. Yeah, let's have a look who that was. I think it was Jamie James. Final corner.
Chris Carr.
We've got
Vectra.
Temp Fear's just made his way over the line for P4. Then there's a fair way back to Chris Carr, but he's already gone over the line, he's already been classified, so that's Chris Carr P5, Vectra P6, over Dykink P7, Jamie James P8. So it looks like we may have lost, who was it? Was it Killer Corkin?
I think it's Killer Corkin, yeah, was running around in 9th.
Yeah, I think he was running in 9th. May have gone for the slick tyre and it may have backfired. But there we go, race over. And it looks like it may be just drying up enough for maybe to walk into the car park, get in the car and not get too wet. What do you think of that one then, Gavin?
It's been an interesting one. I think rain in qualifying mixed it up from the start, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
the amount of rain we've had has just been mental.
It's just been a deluge, hasn't it? It's been a good race. I've enjoyed it. Sure, we'll see what the drivers think of it. It'll be interesting to see what happened to Dave in the opening laps.
Oh, definitely. So I will invite the podium sitters in for a chat. We'll see how they're feeling. I think they will not want to be mentioning rain. I think we'll be had enough of that for one day. So there we go. P1 we've got Casely, P2 we've got Hesselden, and P3 we've got Dave the Hart. So that's a P1 and 2 Yellow Bandit and P3 Gold Standard.
All point scoring.
No, definitely.
Every little bit counts.
So as we're looking at the cars in the pit lane, just looking behind the cars as the off-board shot, K-Slave's car's not looking too bad. Hesselden's car is looking fairly damaged, and it looked fairly damaged from the start. I'm wanting to get his perspective in that opening lap. And Dave Harp's car looks pristine, not a mark on it. So, just to let the podium drivers to make sure that they have their party settings set to share, as I believe we've got all three of the podium sitters in. And what a crazy race, was not expecting that at all. At some point we were expecting sunshine, but I think it's come way too late. And let's jump to P1, which is K-Slave. Should have won the first round, did win the second. How are you feeling?
Relieved. That was so tough, honestly. That was really difficult. Tyres were cold and then overheating, and then vice versa. I didn't get quite a lap in as well, so yeah, really relieved to get back to P1.
Yeah, how did it go in quali? Did you, I think Gavin was watching you at the time when you made a mistake, was it, in on your pole lap?
But it wasn't the pole lap, was it?
It usually is going to be the pole lap with your driving, but unfortunately today your teammate took the pole position point. But how did it? Which corner was it that you completely binned it or lost it? Because unfortunately I wasn't viewing at the time.
The first chicane, tyres were just so cold. I couldn't slow the car down, couldn't turn it. The only practice I did was about an hour before, but I didn't do any thunderstorm practice, so had to get the tyre pressure sorted. But then I went too low in the race, so that's why they were overheating. So yeah, had to do a bit of a change at the pit stop.
Well, to be fair, you didn't get a qualifying lap in, and you were further down the grid. We were expecting IKEA Racing to turn up, and not one of them three drivers turned up, so I'm sure that Mr. Alan Key will be fairly cheesed off that none of his drivers turned up. But it could have been worse off the start. What was your first lap like further down the grid?
Getaway was good. I got up to P5 off the start. But the spray was just ridiculous, I couldn't see anything, so I backed off a little bit, and then I just sort of got into the rhythm. Then I think 10th made a mistake, and then I got to P4, and then started just keeping on the back of Hasselden. He was really quick in the first one.
Yeah. We, unfortunately, I think we missed the point. I think it was around lap 6 or 7 when you was behind. I think Dave had just pitted and you were behind Hesselden, and then we cut back on board and you were in front of Hesselden. Was it a mistake from Hesselden, or did you just make an epic move?
Yeah, I think he either had a bit of a moment or went wide or something.
Right, nice. Well, a full 25 points in the bag. As you say, no pole position points, so it won't be 26 unfortunately, but that's a decent amount of points. I think overall your total tot-up will be 46 points, leading the championship at the moment, so that's fairly good going there. Nice one. And we will move on to P2. Hesselden, how are you, my friend? How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, pleased with that. After the disconnection.
Oh, well, we were all thinking, I mean, where did you end up starting on the grid? Because we weren't sure if you would have regained that pole position.
No, I think I was 5th, because only about 4 drivers per time in, I think. So I was like first of the no times that was up on.
Right, so
nice to me.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I did think it were gonna place you behind us both, and then to top your evening off, you'd have drove maybe into the back of us. I didn't want that to happen. But yeah, pole position point straight out of the pit, straight on the pole, and I think it was about a 2-second gap to Dave Hart. So how did it go with your pole lap? Was it tyres up to temperature, or were you still struggling and just miraculously got that timing?
Yeah, it was alright, to be honest. I didn't do no tests in the wet, so I was quite pleased with it. And my car was pretty decent. Like, temperatures were low, so I changed them in the warm-up, and then pretty much same as Casey, I was overeating in the race, and then, yeah, it was just a nightmare really with the temperatures. But, yeah, all good.
Yeah, because Casey went for a one-stop midway through race. I think you did a 2-stop. With it drying out at the end, were you crying for it to dry out a bit quicker, or were you, try and change the strategy, maybe shove on a set of slicks, or were you just thinking, even if it does dry out, I'll just stay on the wets?
Yeah, I was expecting it to dry out. I expected it to go like really dry. So at the end of the second stint, I was going to stay out, but then and wait for the dry. But I decided not to. But yeah, I was pretty happy with second. Teammate got first, so yeah, it wasn't too bad.
And I'll also confirm, just Casey was trying very, very hard. I think he got within a 10th. I'm pretty sure you took the fastest lap of the race, which was very decent. I think we were about 10 laps from the end, and then Casey, with it drying out, managed to pop in some very, very fast times, but he was still a 10th slower. But Esselden takes an extra point added on to his P2, so every point counts as we jump towards P3. Dave Harp, how are you feeling, my friend?
Okay, nice one.
Yeah, not bad. We were expecting the rain to stop around probably on the normal settings. We were expecting for it to stop about halfway through the race. It just did not stop. We didn't understand why it was not stopping. Were you gambling on maybe going to a set of slicks at the end, or?
No,
yeah.
Still seem to have grip, so
as well. Well, that we were discussing when you were out in the lead. I think you had about a 4-second gap to both Hesselden and Casey. And then the next minute we had a look, and you were running on the grass a fair few times through the corners, and we were like, where's Dave's grip gone? Has he got mechanical damage? But you're just saying it was just down to the tyres. Yeah, absolutely deflating with those tyres. So how are you going to be able to take the fight to Casey? Because I mean, in the first race we did think that Casey was going to run away with it. You won the first race. How are you feeling about P3? Are you alright? Best of a bad situation, or could you have done better?
Well, I'm pleasant pleased with just a podium finish. Maybe I can get a better effort to make maybe a better. So just down to the tyres, just put it tough.
Well, I will assure all the drivers here that we probably won't see as much rain as we've seen today in any of the following races, because that was just a bit too much. I mean, we were saying how are they even staying on circuit at some points. When you lose grip, you lose tyre temperature, and then with that amount of rain there's no chance of holding it. But Casey, he came out on top. And back to Casey, what are your feelings as I believe the next circuit, what did we say the next circuit was, Gavin?
Willow Springs.
Willow Springs. I don't trying to remember on the fly. So yeah, Willow Springs, and it's going to be a night race. So we will.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a night race at Willow Springs.
We just keep chucking that weather at you.
Thunderstorms. Oh yes. So that will be very interesting. With around the desert in the middle of the night, that's going to be pretty crazy, and that's going to be for 20 laps. Wait, no, that's around Bathurst. 30 laps around Willow Springs at night. That is going to be some epic race, and the next race on Front Row Racing, on the Front Row Racing channel, will be PCP, which is the GT3 Open class, next Sunday at 7:30, also at Willow Springs, and that's for 26 laps. So that should be the next race on the PCP channel. Gavin, have we got any more questions for the podium sitters before we wrap this up?
Just one to all three. I've heard you all saying that the tyres were a nightmare to deal with, pressures, overheating, etc, etc. Have you ever had to deal with the tyres overheating in the dry at all? I'll give it to first place, second and then third.
I have previously, but not to that extent.
Was it that bad?
And it was difficult because you just have to guess. Because I went out and they were too low and then they were too high, so I just guessed and they weren't perfect, but yeah, I just got a bit lucky with guessing, to be honest.
Essendon?
No, not in the dry, never really, just the wet really. When it starts, like when it's like on and off like that, like heavy rain and then light rain and that, well, there wasn't much light rain, but it's a nightmare to...
That'd have been far too easy if we'd have given you light rain.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just the rain, the wet really, where you struggle with the temperatures.
Cool. Dave?
Yeah, no, oh god, what was I saying? I mean, in practice, we try to find the temperatures.
Sounds like it was just the weather then that threw everything up, yeah?
Yeah, it's probably just the rain.
Cool.
Just the tyres and just...
That's me, James.
Yeah, so we will see all, hopefully all of you next Sunday, which will be at 7:30 for the PCP race, which will be, like I say, it's going to be at 7:30. We will see how the cars get on around Willow Springs. It's going to be fairly difficult. I think next week, I believe, we're hearing, and a lot of drivers are going to be thanking me for this, I think it's going to be bone dry for the next race in the PCP, and hopefully it might be bone dry for the PCS as well, just to make up for the amount of rain we've had today. So, there we go. I'd just like to thank my co-commentator GT Gavin. I'd like to thank the podium drivers for making it to the end through that soggy rain, and I'd also like to thank all of the other drivers for making it to the end, because to be fair, all them points were on offer. There's 3 drivers from IKEA Racing didn't turn up, so more yeah, there'll definitely be words had with those drivers, and we will see you all in a week's time for the PCP.